Hello and welcome to the Mission TV show, the special edition at the 59th session of the General Conference of Seventh Day Adventists here in Atlanta. With all the different guests we've been interviewing, we have somebody very special today. Somebody that, a colleague of mine, that we used to work together in Trinidad and Tobago at Caribbean Union College, now the University of Southern Caribbean. We have with us Sister Mrs. Heather Dawn Small, a lady with great talent and responsibilities worldwide. Heather Dawn, I'd like to welcome you to the Mission TV show. Our special show focused on the mission and the need of the world.
Yes.
Please tell us a little bit about what you do, your responsibilities, and the focus of your work.
Well, I work at the General Conference. I'm director for Women's Ministries for the World Church. And basically, we seek to motivate our sisters, encourage them, nurture them, empower them so that they can get involved in outreach in the community.
This is all around the world.
All around the world. We've got between 11 and 12 million women.
In this kind of responsibility, you're on the road quite a bit.
Quite a bit, yes.
And what kind of programs do you have to make women in the church aware of what the need is, what they can do, and encourage them? What kind of programs are available?
One of the things which we do is called leadership training, because we find that so many of our women do not have that kind of education which they need to have if they are going to be equipped to do so many things in the community. So there's that program. But apart from that, we have so many other seminars and workshops that we use to empower our ladies, to give them the critical information that they need about various issues in their community and how they can go into the community and make a difference.
Are these available in different languages?
Different languages, yes. They've been translated into every language from Vietnamese to Russian to, oh yes, every language.
If somebody, one of our viewers, a lady, would like to acquire these materials, how would they go about it?
They can go to our website, AdventistWomensMinistries.org, and they will find all the information there. And there's a lot of free material there also. And we also have material there in French, Spanish, and Portuguese.
That can be downloaded?
That can be downloaded free of charge. Yeah.
This is exciting. Thank you very much for sharing that. There is something you've been really focusing on, a passion,
yes.
Lady. We've all seen the little stickers. We've all seen what's happening. Tell us a little bit more about your heart passion.
Well, right now, our big emphasis has been on ending violence against women and girls. And we have teamed up with Adventist Development Relief Agency, which we know as just ADRA. And we are in the midst of a campaign to sort of educate our church people as to what this issue entails, because we're talking here not just about domestic violence, we're talking about female genital mutilation, human trafficking, childhood marriages, dowry killings. I mean, there are just so many things which come under this, and the United Nations has called this a pandemic. That's to tell you how large it is. And the statistic is 1 in 3 women at some point in time in their lives will experience abuse of some kind. And that's just way too many. And that includes women in the church. So our first part is to get those signatures. And we ask people to go to enditnow.org, and they could sign on there. They could sign on through Facebook, because we want to raise people's understanding and help them know that this is a serious issue. And if we are going to take the gospel into the community, we've got to deal with people's pain.
How do I get involved other than signing?
Well, one of the other areas is projects in the community. And we're asking our women and our church members to get involved, not only to start a project, but if there are projects in your community, if there's a halfway home, go and lend your service to that particular place. So it's not always that we have to start something, but sometimes we can just go and help. But we do have thousands of projects presently on the ground in so many different countries. We've got over 5,000 literacy centers, because one of the things which we have to do is to help these women become I've been talking so much whole day, my tongue's all tied up, but to become economically empowered, so that they can, if they are in situations where they are being abused, they can have a way to move from that situation and feed themselves and their children. So literacy centers, various small projects, small business training. We have those kinds of projects going on throughout the world.
And through the enditnow.org,
Yes.
they're able to make contact also with you and
That's right.
find
That's
out
right.
where they can participate.
Find out where, see so many projects, and also become involved, because that's what we want. Not only to go into the community, but to partner with their governments to see what is my government doing on this issue, and to really push for something to be done.
Gospel Ministries International has 26 airplanes, most of which are on the front lines doing medical work.
Yes.
And we have discovered that helping the community where it hurts,
That's
at the
right.
pain level, that's what opens most of the doors.
That's definitely true.
Now-
Definitely true.
Now, there's kind of a sense of urgency. The world is rapidly deteriorating.
Yes.
The window of opportunity is not staying open.
No,
it
it's
is closing.
very quickly.
How does this sense of urgency convey to your worker? How would you convey that to the workers? Do you work on a long time schedule, we can do it any time, or are you on an accelerating scale?
Over the past 5 years, we have placed intentional emphasis on touching people's lives. First, the physical touch, before we begin with the spiritual touch. So that we have emphasized to our sisters, it's wonderful to go into the community and to give Bible studies, but so many times we don't see the needs because we're so focused on the spiritual. And Jesus' method was to go out there and to meet people, win their confidence, listen to their problems, help them with their problems. And that's what we are seeking to do first. So we focus on 6 areas: abuse and health issues, poverty, leadership training for the women, education, because we want them to know that these are areas which our women need to be helped in. Women's health, because if we don't help them in these areas, they can't understand God's word. It kind of is a stumbling block, a barrier for them. Yes, I want to accept Jesus, but I need to feed my family. Yes, I want to accept Jesus, but my husband's beating me. So there are all these things that stand in the way.
Now you work around the world. Are we dealing only with poor countries, or is this a problem in all countries? Tell us a little bit more about the dynamic.
These problems are found everywhere, whether developed countries or developing countries. Abuse, poverty, these are issues everywhere. And we don't have to look far, even here in the United States, to see where these problems are. The question is, what are we doing to help with these problems? Are we just saying, well, that's okay, I'll give my mission offering and that's all I can do? Or is there more? And that's what we're asking people to do. Do more.
On the spiritual side,
Yes.
accountability to God. What kind of recommendation and advice would you have about I don't just want to give a little donation or help or sign my name. What accountability do we have to God to be involved in caring for others?
Well, I believe, based on what we see in the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verses 1 to 3, it tells us what Jesus was called to do. But then he said, all the things that I did, you will do, and even more. And he touched people's lives. And we tell our ladies, God has called you to do the same things which Jesus did. We need to bring people the oil of joy for their mourning, to help them with their sickness. And so we make it very much something which I know as a Christian I have to do. If Christ dwells in my life, I've got to be like Jesus. And he calls me to not only be like him by my words, but by my actions even more so.
And the world tends to look for their own needs.
Yes.
People. That's a normal way of looking at things. But I recall back, I was hijacked many years ago as a
Yes.
mission pilot, and God impressed me to care for their medical needs. I didn't feel like it, but as I cared for them, it actually gave me my freedom back. I did not know that I was actually working to my blessing by serving others.
Yes.
Do you find this is true? As we work to serve others, our own needs are met?
Yes. One of the things I say to my sisters is, when God uses you to save a life, the life that you save may be your own. Because in the process of reaching out to help someone, the Holy Spirit is working in me. And I think I'm helping them, but I'm really helping myself, because I'm there involved. And it also has a wonderful effect of taking our minds away from me And we can become so self-absorbed with all our problems and our issues. And I love what Paul says in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3 and 4. He says, God will comfort us in our problems so that we can comfort someone else. And I tell the ladies that whatever trial you have is a way that God is going to use to touch someone else. So God is helping to develop in us compassion. And that's something that we all need. And trials do that for us. So that when I look at somebody, oh, I know that, I've been through that, I could do something there.
In the early church, as the pagan world looked at Christians, they said, behold how they love each other.
Yes.
This is a great need in the church today.
It is.
Love. We can believe the right things, we can do all of it right. And this is what you're doing. But do you have some final words regarding the expression of love to others in this program that you have? Could you address our audience directly?
Yes. I would like to say not only to my sisters, but to all those who see this program, God has called us to take the gospel to the world, but He has also called us to take the touch of Jesus into the world. And unless we can begin to look beyond just the spiritual aspect and see people's pain, see people's suffering, and realize that God has called us to do so much more. So many times we feel, well, I don't have the money, I don't know what I can do. But I have seen too many times where God has performed amazing miracles for my sisters who had nothing, but because they left it in God's hands, He opened up doors and opened up ways. I cannot tell you how many times He has done this. So whatever God puts on your heart, do it wholeheartedly, surrender to Him, let Him know, Lord, I'm willing to be used, and He will do it, and He will amaze you in the process.
Sister Heather Dawn, thank you so much.
Welcome.
I know you're very busy and you took this little time out with us.
Thank you.
That was our interview with Sister Heather Dawn Small, our World Director of Women's Ministries for the Seventh-day Adventist Church. It's a privilege. It's been many years since we were together down there in the Caribbean, but would you please pray for her? It's a great responsibility to lead a world department, and there's so much work to do in a short amount of time. Jesus is coming back very soon, and Mission TV is focused to bring the needs of the world to you and encourage you to trust God, launch into the deep, risk anything. Jesus is coming soon, and we want you and everyone watching, along with us, to be involved in finishing the work of sharing God's love to a dying world. Thank you for joining us on Mission TV on a special edition at the 59th session of the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists in Atlanta. May God bless you.
Oh, there is